All right, so welcome in. Happy Wednesday. We got today's lunch and learn, and that's we're talking about perspective and mindset strategies and all kinds of stuff. So if you've ever gotten in your own way, this would be a great topic for you. So I'm glad that you are here. People are starting to show up now. All right, so does anybody have anything they'd like to share, any wins before I start my PowerPoint? God, I got a thing in my throat. Well, think of
I have a win.
somebody.
I'm down 15 pounds from when I started. So I guess that's about 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Yeah,
Wow. Wow,
four
wow, wow,
weeks. I
wow,
mean,
wow. That's awesome. That's really
yes,
awesome.
it's good. It's good. I then went on a yoga retreat for the weekend, which was amazing, amazing, and amazing Ayurvedic food, but it was very hard to avoid something. So I sort of just went with it and I did put 2 pounds on.
Oh, I've been to several yoga retreats and they really are amazing. They usually put out
Yeah.
like desserts and stuff also, so that makes it a
Yeah, I mean, there
more
wasn't.
challenging.
I did avoid a lot, but I think I was like, oh, maybe it's because I was hiking. Maybe I put on a pound of muscle and, something like, but, it was all really good food. And it was just that it was it was a lot of lentils, which I loved. But hard, I thought it was really interesting that even though there were salads and things, you almost never just see oil and vinegar. There's always balsamic. There's always a sweetened dressing. Do you know, I find,
Ranch.
and even the ranch, or just that they think, yeah. So, or like Chopped, that salad restaurant is full of all the dressings are all sweet.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, that's not a win, but my win is that I'm happy because I
No,
did keep going.
yeah, but that's real life. You're going to get back to it, right
Yeah,
away and whatever.
yeah,
And just so you all know, carbohydrates can have us retaining water. So when the minute we go on these low carb diets, like, oh, low carb works. Well, yeah, because you lost 5 pounds in your first week, is because for every gram of carbohydrate, we can retain up to 3 ounces of water. So when we go on a weekend where it's just a spread and a buffet and a help yourself food line kind of thing, and that's how a lot of those are. We're
yeah.
we're tending to put more carbs in. That's just what they serve, plus they're that's what's there and all of that. So we tend to eat more and then we put on weight. It's just water weight. So if you're doing your deal, doing your program, and you had this one weekend, just get right back on track and you should be fine in the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that though. That was
Sure.
it's still a win. I still down 15 pounds is still a win. I'm
It's a
happy.
win. It's a win. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. Awesome. Anybody else?
Oh, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I knew where they were. All right. Okay.
Jadon?
Thanks. Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Or did you have a question?
I do. What what is the stance on nutritional yeast?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. I really like it. It's great. It's high in vitamin Bs, and it's a great Parmesan cheese substitute. So yeah, if you put it on, like if you make some It's Skinny noodles with some marinara sauce or some ground turkey and some vegetables, and you put some nutritional yeast on,
Okay.
that's very good. Um,
And even though it's yeast, I know yeast is supposed to be not good for the gut. I just was afraid.
it's got the name yeast, but it's not going to create yeast.
Okay.
So you're totally fine with that. I encourage
Great.
it.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let me see. Let's see here. All right, so welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Today's our lunch and learn. So typically on Wednesdays, I talk a little bit longer. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, like 10, 15 minutes, and then it's more of open discussion. Wednesdays, I do typically do the PowerPoint. And today we're talking about, mindset, perspective shifts, and all of that stuff. So if you have questions along the way, feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Or if you like, I do make time at the end as well. If you want to write your questions down and save it for the end, either one is fine. If you're shy, you can type it in the chat. But if you're not, please just unmute yourself and ask your question. All right, so today we got funnies and shout outs, and I forgot all about that, although at least Abby gave us one. Also, is what we see the truth? We're going to kind of go over how we see things and all of that. Then I have a cute little kind of an analogy story called The Three Helens. And I basically stole that from one of the books that I'm reading online, or have read online, or on Audible, I should say. We'll talk about the RAS and what that means and what it is and how it works for you. We'll talk about your belief systems. We'll go over some brain hacks. And then, as I mentioned, Q&A at the very end, if you have those. So let's see. Here are some perspective shifts, but let me go over, I just have Wendy, just a little shout outs. Wendy, she's completely done, but, and this is not as common as a result, so I really wanted to shout out Wendy. She's offered thyroid medicines. I've seen people come off blood pressure medicines, blood sugar medicines, A1C, and diabetes medicines. I've seen people lose weight. These are very, very common. But the thyroid's a little bit trickier, but it is possible. And I want to say that because, again, in Wendy's case, she's off of her thyroid medications. So congrats to you, Wendy. Rebecca's down 19 pounds, and Chris is down 19 pounds. So congratulations to everybody. I forgot to make my list. So I started it earlier in the week, but anyways, so there's a lot of you doing very well. So congratulations to everybody who's doing the deal. I know it's not easy. I know we just had a holiday with Easter, and those things present, obstacles and temptations, or yoga retreats, or whatever the case. But it's just about getting back on track and just starting over. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up, right? All right, so just a different perspective on the left. The guy on the land thinks the boat's going to come save him. The guy on the boat thinks he's going to discover land. Two completely different perspectives. The one in the middle, I just thought was really cute. Everybody has a different perspective when they look at a tree in this example. We all think of something different. And then finally, how we look at things just depends on either how we're raised or how we're conditioned to look at things. The people around us who talk about certain things, we start to believe certain things about certain situations, or about certain events, or about certain other people, or about certain politicians, or about certain situations. If we are conditioned enough, then we start to see things or believe things are a little bit different. So the trick is with that is surround yourself with people that have the same results that you want to have. We won't take a tennis lesson from somebody who's never played tennis. We're going to take a tennis lesson from somebody who knows how to play tennis very well. All right, so what do you see? Okay, on the left, we got the guy sitting on the ledge. He really doesn't know how precarious his situation is. Another guy's hanging out for his life. And it looks like this guy down here at the bottom is running to come over and try to help. And then the guy over here doing push-ups with his fingertips. And the guy in the seat can't even believe what he's seeing. However, if you cock your head to the right, you completely see something completely and totally different. They're not at all what we see. So sometimes how we think things is not always the case. And I'm kind of wanted to talk about this topic because what I do hear a lot when I'm doing like the onboarding call or getting to know a brand new client, they have their preconceptions of what this program looks like, what it is, if it's hard or if it's easy. They have preconceptions of what they think it might be. But then they come out on the other side and they're like, well, that was much easier than I thought. And I saw this in someone's writing this morning, that this program is much easier than they thought. The cleanse, the 5 days with no food. Well, people think it's going to be all kinds of things, but it often most people tell me it's much easier than they thought it was going to be. Not everybody, but I do get that a lot. So again, we have preconceived notions, we have preconceived ideas of what things should look like or what we think they look like. But as you can see, sometimes it really isn't the truth at all. This is one of those psychological tests. I'm kidding. But what do you see? Like, what do you see? Because some people go, that's a beautiful vase or a candle holder. And somebody else might say, well, that's two silhouettes, two profiles of faces looking at each other. So it's not, neither one is wrong. It's the same situation. Just like when you have a glass that's got it's got water in it up to the halfway mark. Is it half empty or half full? It's the same situation. Got somebody in the chat. Oh, somebody had to leave. She got a phone call. Bummer. All right. All right, so. Okay, so I wanted to go over this story called The Three Helens. And you might want to write down Kyle Cease, spelled C-E-A-S-E, I believe. I believe it's with the C. But he is actually a comedian who's kind of morphed and gone into motivational, inspirational, personal development kind of talks. I've been to one of his, it was either a 2 or 3 day seminar out in Pasadena, California. And he's really, really good. He is funny as hell, but he's so thought-provoking and the way he tells his stories, you really get a good, clear picture. So I just wanted to, and I'm going to butcher it. I'm not a comedian, but I'm going to make a point with this. Hopefully it will all make sense. So there's 3 Helens. They all come from kind of the same city. They all have some kind of the same backgrounds or whatever the case may be. So here we've got 3 Helens. They all have the same name. And so they are all given $10 million. How lucky is it to be Helen today? So Helen number 1, she is obviously, very understandably, very excited about her $10 million. So what does Helen do? She quits her job right away. She goes and buys a luxury apartment in a really fancy part of town. She buys herself a brand new car. She gets a new wardrobe. She got this new fancy apartment so that she can have all these great parties. She bought a $250,000 statue of Kid Rock to put into her beautiful new home. She bought a bunch of new jewelry, and she's just looking to just have a really, really, really good time. So that's our Helen number 1. Okay. Helen number 2, she also got $10 million. But what she did, she was trying to play it safe. She went to the Courtyard by Marriott and she took a seminar on finances. She set up herself with an automatic savings account in her bank. She invested most of the money into a secure, but very low but secure investment. So she's getting a good 7% on her investment, which isn't terrible, but she's playing it safe. So there's that. And then Helen number 3, just like Helen number 1, she does quit her job. However, her intention is to expand herself. So what she does, she quits her job. She's always wanted to go hiking throughout Europe. So she goes hiking throughout Europe. She discovers so much about herself. She's going backpacking in Europe. When she returns, she feels like a new person. She starts taking classes and she starts learning about how to become healthy. and she takes classes on business. And because she's doing things that are expanding herself, she decides to start her own business of something that she absolutely, truly loves and that fills her soul and fills her heart. That gives her, that's her passion and is in a real alignment with who she is. So basically, in recap, we've got Helen number one, instant gratification. Let's go. Let's have a good time. This is my chance. I never had this chance before in my whole life. I'm going to spend my money and I'm going to have a fabulous time. Helen number two, she's playing it smart. She did not expand herself at all. And she's probably going to have some more money by the end of that first year, unlike Helen number one's probably going to have a lot less. She's already spent quite a bit already. Helen number two, she's going to have more money by the end of that first year. And but she's playing it safe. She did not expand herself. And then Helen number three, she's probably going to have a little bit less money at the end of the year, but she's expanded herself. She's becoming a happier person. She's true to who she really is. She's following her heart. She's in alignment with her soul. She's doing what she loves to do for work. And so because even though she has less money at the end of the year, because she's expanded herself, if someone was to take away all of their money, or if something happened with the way money works and all money disappeared, Helen number three would still have more because she expanded herself. And when we do that, nobody can take that away. So how does that relate to you and your health journey? All right, so let's switch it out. So instead of getting $1 million, we've got the same 3 Helens, but we're going to give each of them the perfectly healthy body. It looks exactly how they want it to look. The heart is as healthy as they want it to be. The brain, the lungs, the digestive system, everything inside and out. They're as fit and as strong and as physically capable of whatever they want. So they get basically the perfect body. What is Helen number one going to do? Well, we know she's instant gratification. She's going to go straight for the cheeseburger in front. Why not? I got the perfect body. I don't have to worry about my diet anymore. Guess what else? She sleeps in on Saturday mornings. Why should I get up and go to the gym? I already have the perfect body. She stays up late watching Netflix all night. And she doesn't worry about having to get up and get to the gym. And since she's watching Netflix and hanging out with friends, not really taking care of her health, she doesn't really bother to meal prep or meal plan or do any of her healthy grocery shopping. Because why should she bother? She's already got the healthy body. Instant gratification. Helen number two, she's like, wow, this is awesome. I can wear whatever I want to wear. This is really pretty cool. So what does she do? She goes out and she buys a whole bunch of new outfits and she buys herself that bikini. She gets herself a personal trainer because she doesn't want it to go away. She's playing it very, very smart. She's playing it safe. She's not doing anything to expand herself, but she's going to play it safe. She doesn't want to lose any of that health and fitness that she was given. So she's really excited about it. She does not want to lose it. So she's going to go to the gym. She's going to get the trainer. She might even, pay for those meal delivery services, and she's going to get all those new clothes. So what does Helen number three do? Helen number three looks down and says, wow, I have this wonderful, healthy body. I can do with it whatever I want. I can do the things I really love to do. So Helen number three, she joins up some meetup groups, and there's some hiking groups, and there's pickleball lessons, and she learns to take some dance lessons. Maybe she's taking some salsa lessons, or if she were anything like me, she would be taking some country two-step lessons or country swing. And she's just having a really fabulous time and really meeting other like-minded people. She also, in her meetup groups, she's joining other health and wellness groups, and she's learning more about meditation and about journaling and about cooking. And maybe she even signed up for some cooking classes. So she's really digging deep into expanding herself. So if for some reason something happened, where her body wasn't so physically perfect anymore, she would have an exact way to come right back to it. So I wanted to share those things with you. And if you want to hear him tell it, he's so much funnier than mine wasn't funny. I was just trying to make the comparison. But his book is called The Illusion of Money. And it's about money, but it isn't. Like, you can translate anything into anything you want, whether you're trying to make more money in your life, you want more health and fitness in your life, you want better relationships in your life. Listen to his story, The Illusion of Money. It's really, really funny audible book. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so if we want to be a little bit, more like Helen's, the third Helen C. We have to start looking at things in a different way. When we take on these chances of learning how to cook new recipes and learning how to read labels and learning the ingredients list and learning all these new things, we start to trigger some thought-provoking thoughts in our mind. So I wanted to talk about how that is going to serve you in your favor. So if you become more like Helen C., or the third Helen, the one who expanded herself, she's going to have what's called, and we all have it, it's in the middle of the brain somewhere, and it's called the reticular activating system. So the reticular activating system, what that is it's basically a filter. So we get millions and millions and millions of pieces of information every day. You know, if you have a smart watch, it's pinging. You have a smartphone, it's going off. You have a computer in front of you, it's going all these ads. You're driving down the street and there's billboards and there's stores and there's cars and there's people and there's all of these things and signs and billboards and all the things. And you're only going to see a handful of what's all of there. And the only thing that you're really going to see is what you have decided is important. So if you become like Helen C., and you've taken the nutrition classes and you've taken the cooking classes and you've learned about the ingredients list, your eyeballs will start to notice these things more often. The reticular activating system is basically the filter that lets that information through to your brain so that you can see these things. It determines what we notice, filter for all info that gets in or doesn't, and it can be easily programmed, which is really cool. So if we are becoming more like Helen C., and we're learning so many, and you guys are showing up to these group calls, you're reading through your manual, you're jotting down all of your tracking your foods, you're texting your coach with food questions, you're sending your coach emails with other, questions along those lines. When you're doing that, you're telling your reticular activating system that these things are important to you. So when we are driving down the street now, last week or last month or last year, you would not have noticed a new gym popping up on the street right, 2 miles from your house. Or maybe when you walked in the grocery store, you would not have noticed a food item that says low glycemic, or organic, or naturally, whatever it's sweetened, or whatever the case may be, or no sugar added. Those are kind of buzzwords that now you're conditioning yourself to start to see, and it starts to show you. So I like to call this an opportunity. When we see all these things, oh, I see a new gym. Oh, I see gym shoes are on sale. Oh, I see a recipe, all these like little things that come at us on the internet. These recipes, we never might have noticed them before, but now we're noticing paleo recipes. We're noticing all these really cool things that I call it an opportunity, because if we notice it, the next step is basically to take an action. But the fact that you guys are showing up, you're tracking your foods, you're putting your head in the game every single day on some level, you're practicing something, you're writing down everything you did right. We talked about that, I think it was yesterday or maybe Monday. But if you write down everything you did right, rather than beat yourself up for the one thing you did wrong, you're training your brain and your subconscious mind that you are becoming a healthier person. And all of these opportunities will start to show themselves because you've trained your reticular activating system. It's really cool. And it's really easy to program. It's just whatever you focus on, what you focus on expands. So if you learn something new within this program every single day, even if you're spending 2 minutes every day, you're spending time every day, and it'll open up that filter to show you what you should see. And then, boy, belief system is powerful, powerful, powerful stuff. We make all of our decisions based on what we believe. I mean, I can't tell you how much money I've spent on supplements because I believe this is going to help my skin, and this is going to help my heart, and this is going to help my brain. I truly believe it is, a lot of the different ones. So I spend, literally a small fortune on those things. We spend our money on stuff that we believe is going to make our life better. Sometimes we're wrong, sometimes we're not wrong, but it's whatever we believe is going to have a strong influence on your decision making. And a lot of us do have limiting beliefs. I had someone say, well, they didn't want to start their program until Monday because I have an event to go to this weekend, and I don't want to eliminate all of my fun. So if you think being on this program is going to eliminate all of your fun, that's a very limiting belief. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not trying to get rid of all your fun. There are plenty of ways to have fun with food, even on this program. So stay tuned. And the more you're looking for things, the more you're looking for the right recipes, the more you're going to find them because your reticular activating system is going to help you. Some of us have a little bit of self-doubt. And that's, again, this is another reason why you want to write down what you did right every single day, what you did right, or what, the good choices that you made, so that you are reminding yourself and you are training your subconscious mind to know that you are capable of doing this program. Again, don't beat yourself up for eating that one wrong thing. Start to remind yourself of what a good job you're doing, and remind yourself where you started. If you're a smaller size, or even a pound less, or your blood pressure is better, or your A1C is better, or your diabetes is better, remind yourself that you are progressing. And this is a big one. Who you think you are? Tony Robbins says the strongest force in the human personality is the need to be consistent with who you think you are. And so I could talk about that for quite a while. It's like a thermostat. So if we set the thermostat at 75 and we open the door, and either the hot air comes in or the cold air comes in, the room will change temperatures for a little bit. But the minute that thermostat realizes it's too hot or too cold, it's going to kick in and bring it back to that 75 degrees. And the best example, like a money example, would be, somebody who wins the lottery. Somebody who wins the lottery, they get their $10 million, like the Helens. It depends, and you hear about, 2 or 3 years later, if they don't believe of themselves to be a multimillionaire, if they identify as the factory worker or someone who makes 40 grand a year, or how they see themselves, you hear the stories all the time that they end up losing all their tens of millions of dollars, and they come back to where they were, and sometimes they even have less money. So we've got to raise that identity, put it up to 100, so to speak. And the best way to do that is to keep reminding yourself on a daily basis what you did right. All the good choices I made today. I went to the restaurant and they offered me baked potato or French fries, and I chose extra vegetables instead. Or I meal prepped instead of sleeping in, or I went to the gym instead of sleeping in, or I got some new workout shoes, or whatever the case may be. Everything you did, teeny tiny or huge, write it down. It will help you change the who I think I am identity. How you finish that. In fact, on module 2, there's a whole written exercise that you can do. And this is why it's so important, because who we think we are is how we show up to everything. I identify as a mother and I think of a mother as nurturing and helpful and caregiving, if that's my strongest identity, that's how I'm going to show up to other areas of life. That's how I'm going to show up as a friend. That's how I'm going to show up as a coach. That's how I'm going to show up as an employee, whatever the case may be. So and we have many different ones. It's not just one. I have many identities. I'm a dancer, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a woman. I mean, there's many, many things, but if you break it down, that's how I show up to the world. What you think about your food choices? This one I get a lot. People, we have these events, we have these parties, we have these, Memorial Days coming up. There's the barbecues, the events, whatever the case may be. If we think of our foods in a different way, we change our perspective. When I was writing my first book, I realized that's why I wrote my second book. I thought, why is this time different? Why did I lose the weight and keep it off? Because I was always, up and down. Like anybody else, you lose 10, you gain 10, you lose 20, you gain 20, you do the whole thing back and forth, up and down. But when I started learning about what's the food doing in my body, each different food, if it's telling my body to go into fat storage, or if it's going to help make my brain smarter, or if it's going to help make my heart healthier, or if it's going to reduce the inflammation in my body and make the pain go away, or if it's going to help my gut be less bloated. When I look at my foods, by learning about the different foods and by joining these classes and by reading through the manual and listening to other podcasts and other gurus and YouTube, all of those things, we start to learn what these foods are doing in our body. And it helps us change the perspective on how we see those foods. When you learn about your ingredients list and what kinds of chemical-y things are in them and what those chemicals are doing in your body, it starts to change your perspective on how you see the foods that have those kinds of ingredients. So being mindful enough to start to learn all of the things that we're trying to teach you in the program can really help you shift your food choices and how you see or what you think about your food choices and your foods and how you look at them. What you think about this program. Some people join right away and they're really excited about it. They just want the benefit. They have really no idea what it is. And then they get started and they're like, I didn't know I was going to have to fast. I didn't know, I can't do that. Or whatever they believe, that's, again, your belief system is really strong. But what happens is if you are open to being coachable, if you are open to just trying the new idea, just like put it out on the table, say, okay, I don't know what all this is for. I don't know why I'm doing this stuff, but I'm just going to do it. Dr. Infantino seems smart and plausible. I resonated with him. He made sense when he spoke. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And then you realize the program is not as hard as you think. And there's plenty of delicious foods out there. So the more you dive in and be coachable and be opening to new ideas, it'll change what you think about the program, and you'll have far more success if you are open to being coachable. And then also being a victim. This is a very easy and very common place to land. And the reason why we do it is because it is easy. Because if I'm the victim, that means it's somebody else's fault. If I'm the victim, it means it's the fault. Oh, I can't work out because the gym is closed for renovations, or I can't work out because it's raining outside. My plan was to go for a walk. If I'm a victim, if I'm a victim, then I'm blaming somebody else. That's how you know if you are being a victim. If you're blaming or you're complaining about something or someone or a situation, you're being a victim. The good news is you don't have to be. You can take your power back, and you can be taking responsibility. So we did a little exercise yesterday and write down all the things that stop you from having the success. And then you go through that whole entire list and cross off anything that you cannot control. Like, I cannot control what somebody else puts in their mouth. I cannot control what somebody else says or thinks or does, but I can control what I put in my mouth, and I can control what I think or say or do. So once I take responsibility, but that's harder because now it is my fault. But in the same token, it's very empowering because now I'm in charge of my result. I'm in charge of my success. I'm empowered because I get to choose which path I want to go on. So coming out of victimhood, and notice if you are blaming something or someone or complaining, you are being victim. So take them, and I believe there's a lesson on that in module 2 as well. All right, let me move my people over here. All right, so we have lots of excuses. We're going to go through some shifts on those. A lot of people they start to look at the thing and it's too hard. I'm going to give you the perspective shifts after, so I'll go through that at first glance list. I don't have time. That's a real common one. My family eats in a different way. That's also pretty common. My life is crazy right now. I can't work out. It's raining. I just gave that excuse. So those are some things that we might have, and we might have a true belief that that this really is hard, or that you don't have time, or, the family that, we have kids, or they have to have Cheetos in the house all the time, which isn't true, by the way. And if you got the lesson on chemicals and food dyes, Cheetos with the yellow dye number, whatever, 40, very, very bad. Don't buy that for your kids. Anyway, so let's get some answers. So it's too hard. Well, okay, a lot of things that are new are hard, and success is always outside of our comfort zone. So you want to ask different questions. So if I'm looking at something and I have a belief that it is too hard, the first thing I want to ask is, well, what can I do, or how can I make this easier? How could this possibly become easier? And I promise you guys, the answer won't come instantly. It's not like a rub the bottle and the genie comes out. But if you keep asking, what can I do, or how can I make this easier? It's really weird, but the answers will come. It might come at 3 a.m. It might come 6 hours from now. But if you really start to look for, how can I make this easier, or what can I do? You'll start to see it. It's really, really cool. You don't have time. First of all, you can make time. But I would also state, if you prepare and spend 30 minutes a month getting your foods, your onions, your bell peppers, your celery, your mushrooms, carrots, whatever you typically start most recipes with, if you get a chopper and you chop that up, takes 30 minutes a month, that includes cleaning the chopper, the mandolin, you are actually going to save time. Meal prepping does not have to take more time. I do it, and I don't expect you guys to be able to do it within an hour at the beginning, but I've been doing it for a while, and I kind of have my system. Grab a handful of the onions that are already chopped in the freezer, and I have a handful of bell peppers, and a handful of the celery, and then I have my whatever else. If I'm going to make a chili or a soup or a stew, that's the start of any of it. So it's already done for me. It doesn't take, so my meal prep on Sundays doesn't take me a whole hour because I've already pre-chopped all my stuff. So that's one way to make time. The other way is to put it in your schedule. If we don't put it down and say, from 5 to 6 p.m., I'm going to, on Mondays or Sundays or whatever day, I'm going to meal prep for the week. If you put it in your schedule, you'll do it. But if you just say, oh, I'm going to meal prep sometime this week, if you don't get a good clarity on what day and what time and what you're actually going to make, it's too unclear, it's too vague, and the brain doesn't know what to do. So personally, if I don't know what to do, I do nothing. If I do not know what exactly what to do, I do nothing. So if I know exactly on Sundays, and I'm one of those weirdos, on Sundays at 11, just because that's how my morning goes. I get home from the grocery store at 11. That's when I meal prep. But I know it's Sunday at 11. That's what I'm going to do. And it only takes me about an hour or less. And then I have the rest of my Sunday to go out and play. That's how I make time. But you've got to put it in your schedule. That's the only way to make the time. It's just once it's there. Same with workout. If you're going to work out 3 times next week, just know Monday is back at right after work. Wednesday is legs right after work. Friday is chest, right after work or before work, whatever. If you know what you're going to do, what time you're going to do it, likelihood you'll do it. More likely you'll do it. But if you just say, I'm going to work out sometime next week and you don't have a plan, you probably won't do it. Someone in chat says, speaking of meal prep, what is the best way to clean all the veggies, especially if it's not organic? I have been rinsing under cold water. There's stuff that you can buy, but I would say you could use vinegar as well, like just a white vinegar. But I just rinse mine. I usually just rinse them pretty well. That's a great question. I need to do some more looking into that. All right. Let's see here. Okay, my family eats in a different way. What do they like that is on the program? So do they like chicken? Do they like shrimp? Do they like crab? Do they like ground turkey or soups or sauces or stews with ground turkey? Do they like those things? Do they like a spaghetti sauce? I mean, you can make them the extra pasta, but you can keep them similar where, you're making a big, I call it Italian stew, but it's ground turkey with a marinara. And then I just add zucchini and mushrooms and bell peppers and onions. Those kinds of things. There's lots of things that the kids or the husbands or the spouses will consume that taste good. There's hundreds of recipes in that book. And I bet you they will like most of them. If you know the kinds of things that your family likes, try the recipes, you guys. Nobody will know they're on a healthy diet if you do that. They're pretty good. I get so much good feedback with the recipes. My life is crazy right now. Well, yes, you still have to eat. So unless your life is 100% just drive-through fast food, I mean, there are fast foods out there that do have healthier choices. And I would say just think protein and veggies, get the grilled chicken or the chicken still on the bone, like El Pollo Loco, stuff like that. But you still have to prepare something. And if you don't even have time to do your 30-minute vegetable cut at the beginning of the month or that once a month thing, you can buy them already pre-cut and frozen. So that way it's just already there in your freezer. I always keep frozen proteins, individual chicken, thighs or breast, and I have mahi, and I have cod, and I have shrimp, all those things frozen in my freezer. So I always have frozen vegetables and frozen proteins. So it just thaw it out and cook it. Frozen cauliflower rice is a staple. Never be without it. It takes 3 minutes to cook. So if your life is busy, that's what you want to go for. And you can make it, you could add any spices or flavors. You can add the Bragg's aminos, make it like fried rice with a scrambled egg and some peas and carrots. There's so many different spices and herbs that you can add to any of your vegetables or proteins to make them taste different, but try the recipes in the book. All right, so well, I can't work out because it's raining. Well, okay, so it's raining or the gym is closed or my car broke down. I can't even drive to the gym, whatever the excuse is. Well, what can I do? Well, I have YouTube. I can go to YouTube and watch, follow along on a YouTube thing. And if you're brand new, put exercise for beginners or exercise for seniors or seated exercises or, whatever the case may be with whatever limitation you have. What could you walk around the block? Could you take your dog for a walk? Do you have any stuff at home? You don't need any equipment. There's yoga classes on YouTube that you can take, or mat Pilates that you don't need any equipment for. So there's a lot of things that you can do as far as workout. But if you're blaming or complaining about the weather or your broken car or the gym closing or whatever, asking different questions, what can I do? All right, so here's some more perspective shifts, mind hacks that we can do. Writing in your gratitude journal, what you're grateful for each day. So energy flows where focus goes. So if you take time each and every single day to focus on what you're grateful for, best at the end of the day. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for the food that I had for dinner. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for my program that I'm doing. I'm grateful for the shoes on my feet. I'm grateful for my eyes can see. There's going to be something you can think of that you're grateful for. But the more you practice, just like an exercise, the more you practice finding things that you're grateful for, the more your reticular activating system is going to show you things that you are actually grateful for. So, and it's a feel good thing to do. And the more we can raise our vibrations, and gratitude is a high vibration feeling. It's a higher vibration. We're going to attract more things that match that same vibration. I hope that makes sense. What are you focused on? What are you studying? What are you spending time on? So this is huge. And this is what's going to train your reticular activating system. So if you're looking on Pinterest with the cheesy, creamy, pasta, with noodles and all the stuff, if you're spending even 10 minutes on Pinterest or the internet looking at those pictures, how in the heck am I going to not eat those things? Or desserts or sweets or this just wonderful holiday treats, whatever it is. But the more if I focus on, instead, if I shift my focus and go, okay, well, how about some paleo recipes, paleo breakfast, paleo lunch, paleo desserts? And I say paleo because it's the closest to what we're teaching you. They eliminate beans, they eliminate sugars, they eliminate gluten, and they eliminate dairy, just like we're doing. So any of those recipes will not call for cheese or breadcrumbs or actual sugar. So the more we focus on the right stuff, the reticular activating system is going to work for you and start to show you more. The recipes will start popping up. It's really cool. Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So we want to study the winners. So read stories about people that have succeeded in the area you're trying to improve on. So if you're trying to make more money, if you're trying to have a better relationship, if you're trying to have better health, which you guys all signed up for that. So you signed up with Dr. Infantino and you're following his programs, you're reading through his book, you're coming to these classes, and you're going to see, that's why I put out the shout outs. But studying what the winners are doing, following different gurus on YouTube or different podcasts, it's a great way to learn. Every time you learn more about different supplements and different foods that are putting your body in a fat burning zone or different things that are going to serve your body well, then you spend a little time studying them and learning about them. Reticular activating system will show them to you. And it's just, that's how this becomes easier and easier and easier. Yeah, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're looking for? So if I say, if we can do this exercise, I don't know if I did this in the module 2 or not, but we can try it right now if you guys want. How much time do I have? Where am I at? Oh, we're running out of time. But if I say close your eyes, and if you're at home and you have your house memorized, this example might not work as well, but you'll get the idea. So if I say close your eyes and look for blue, open your eyes, look around the room and look for blue. Just look for anything that's blue. It could be what you're wearing, it could be something around the room. So look for blue. Now close your eyes. Now close your eyes. Now as you close your eyes, don't open them, no peeking, no cheating. Now how many things did you see that were brown? Can you think of any? And the reason I say that, because if we're looking for blue, we're going to find 100 things that are blue, even things that are sort of blue, because the brain wants it to be blue. So something that's kind of purplish blue or dark blue or light blue or grayish blue, you're going to see all that. But if I'm looking for blue and then I say, well, how many brown things did you see? You weren't looking for brown. You might not see the brown. So start looking for the good recipes. Start looking for the good ingredients. They're going to start to pop out at you. Asking better questions. How can I make this easier? How can I have chocolate? You know, like, oh, I have a sweet tooth. You know, what am I going to do through this 12 weeks of no, you know, chocolate? Well, yeah, there's chocolate protein powder, or we can add cacao to the protein powder. There's asking questions. How can I eat chocolate? The answers will come. Cocoa powder comes in real handy. We can make a lot of things chocolate with that stuff. Setting in your intentions. If you set the intention, today is going to be a good day. Today, I am going to make good choices. Today, I am going to live a healthy lifestyle. Just today. That's all I got to do is just today. And by setting that intention, now your RAS is looking for more ways to make that happen. And lastly, changing your language. So if I'm at the restaurant and the waiter says, "Would you like a baked potato or French fries with that salmon dinner?" If I say I can't eat that, that has a different feel to it. It's a different vibration than I don't eat potatoes. May I please have extra vegetables? That feel even when I said that, it felt empowering. I don't eat potatoes rather than I can't eat potatoes. And I can tell you guys with 100% certainty, I used to be a group exercise instructor. And so I'm standing in front of the class and we're doing our, you know, the bicep curls and we're doing it and I'm talking and we're doing it and I could see the looks on their faces and they're slowing down and they're kind of starting to roll their eyes because this is getting harder. I'm still talking. We're not quitting. And we're going and then I'll say, repeat after me. I am strong. I am strong. I am powerful. And man, you see their posture change and they're going at it a little harder and a little faster. Whereas just a second ago, they were like, oh my God, when's she going to make us? When are we going to quit? So watch what you're saying because you are listening. Careful what you're saying because you're listening. All right. So your perspective will either become your prison or your passport. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. The success formula, that's the first thing you're going to see in module 2. Create it. What is it that you want to create? Decide what it is that you want and go all in. Heart and soul, go all in. See it in your mind's eye. The power of visualization is extremely powerful, but you want to add feelings to it. And what happens if you practice your see it, feel it over and over and over and over again? You're conditioning your subconscious mind, and now you will believe it. Believing it seems like the hardest part, but if you're practicing your see it, feel it over and over again, you don't have to do anything else. You will begin to believe it. The subconscious mind doesn't know real from imagined. Also, then you got to take action. So when your reticular activating system shows you a food item that's clean ingredients or, you know, dye free or gluten free or whatever the case is, or you see the gym opening up around the corner, take the actions, go in, see what it's about, buy the product, make the recipe, take the actions. You got to take the actions. But go to success formula, which is module 2, training number 1, and write out your vision. I love this. We can imagine great things without ever doing them, but we cannot do great things without ever imagining them. And that's why the visualization process of the success formula is so very important, but you've got to add the feelings to it. What we see depends mainly on what we look for. Are we looking for brown? And so easy to look around and notice what's wrong. It takes practice to see what's right. Melody Beate is an author. She's written some pretty cool kind of life instructions books that are helpful. So with that, I will open it up to Q&A. Does anybody want to unmute and ask any questions? Or anybody have any comments? Or just want to say thanks and see you later.
Tammy?
Yes, hi, Teresa.
Hi. I wanted to share something that changed my life, and it is a supplement called Air Power that used to be by Enzymatic Therapy and is now, it says Enzymatic Therapy, but it says Solaray above that. Soloray. And
That's
it's a
the brand,
natural,
right? Solaray is the brand.
yeah, and it also says Enzymatic Therapy. I think it's kind of like a sub brand. Anyways, I used to have asthma and get chronic. I had pneumonia 9 times and was diagnosed with needing inhalers. And a nutritionist taught my mom when I was young that that I could take that instead of inhalers. And I've been diagnosed with asthma 3 times, and I was always able to take inhalers if I needed it, but then I was able to transition off with that air power therapy.
You don't by any chance have it with you in front of you? And I mean, if you could turn your camera on and show us, that would be so great.
You know what? I will have to go in my room where my husband's working and sneak it
So
out.
could you do me a favor? How about this? Can you take a picture of it and put it in the Facebook group?
Yeah, I want to tell you, I also helped 14 kids get off of inhalers and 2 women get off oxygen using it. And so it's just such a beneficial thing that I had the thought today somebody might like to know that. And the side effects are hair growth, nail growth, and energy. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'll go now.
I'll
but
take
you
it
won't
just for
hear me.
that. I got bald
Yeah.
spots now, so.
Oh, it's wonderful. Okay, 1 minute. I'm gonna put it on mute again.
Did she say she was going to get that? I don't know what she said. I didn't hear the last part of what she said.
I think she said she was gonna go get it, Tammy.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Does anybody else have anything while we're waiting for her? I do want to thank you guys all for being here, so that's awesome.
When we introduce fruit again, I noticed on the list it said we can eat dates, so that's okay. So is dried fruit okay or just dates?
Dates are pretty high in sugar, so I would not encourage dates, generally speaking. I mean, if you put dates in a recipe and it's blending up, it's better than adding actual sugar because you're having the fiber from the date. So that's a good part of it. But generally speaking, I wouldn't do dates very often. Now, the second part of that question was dried fruit, like raisins or dried apricots or dried anything really. Those are delicious and wonderful. However, I would caution you to be super mindful of your portion because, as you know, like a grape is this size, but a raisin is half of that. So the chances of us eating twice as much. Oh, there she is. I don't know if you guys can see that. So Solaray. Oh no, it's Nature's Way.
Yeah, it must have changed, but it's still called air.
That's 2 different brands. Solaray is
Yeah,
way
you're right.
expensive. Yeah. Good. What's that word?
Guaifenesin expectorant.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like, if you take Sudafed, like the really strong one, that's the one that gets the gunk out of your lungs. But another massage therapist, naturopath, taught me that can help. Like, it also has like a side effect of being like help break down foods that might not agree with you.
Air power expectorant.
It's a guaifenesin expectorant. It says thins and loosens mucus. It says clears respiratory airways, and the brand is Nature's Way. I'm glad you had me get it
I'm gonna
because
look it up,
I
but
didn't know it changed brands. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's interesting.
This is another thing that they claim can replace metformin, and it's got all kinds of neat things in it. I could read it. It's called Glucomaxim. I tried it, and I'll tell you what's in it. I think you would like it. It's got vitamin B6, magnesium, and Ceylon cinnamon, and rice hulls. Sorry, I have
Yeah, cinnamon will lower
glyphosate.
blood sugars for sure.
Yeah. So there's that. Yep. I hope that helps somebody. And I know you talked about supplements on a different program, but I just thought, boy, this air power one has been life changing, not only for me, but many people. So I thought it would be worth sharing. That's just a comment I
Yeah,
wanted
thank
to.
you for that. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If you want to take a picture of those and put them on the Facebook group or the other group, the new group, by all means, I would be grateful for that. Because I don't have.
Okay.
to take the
Thank
picture.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We got a chat, looks like. Mucinex is a, what, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Guaifenesin. Fenicin. Guaifenesin.
Guafenicin.
Well, that
Guafenicin.
was, God, you sound like a professional. You sounded so much better. Well, thank you for that. Anybody else? All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for playing and joining here today. And I appreciate the input and the questions. And I guess I will see you all next time. Have a good day. Bye.